Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you're an INFJ or neurodivergent INFJ, there's a 99.9% chance that you've been the helper, the listener, the emotional sponge, the unofficial therapist for just about everybody in your life. But when you need help, crickets. And it's not because people don't care, but because we don't often ask. This was a request that came in from a viewer, why INFJs struggle to ask for help even though we're the helpers. So let's talk about why that is, because it runs way deeper than I don't want to be a burden, which is what most people will say is the reason why we don't ask for help, why we struggle with this. But honestly, that never quite resonated with me. I knew there was something else that was going on much deeper. So I started digging into it because I needed to understand why I kept struggling with this. And I found something that was really surprising for me, and it made everything click. So I want to share with you what I found, because I think you're going to find it interesting too. So welcome to my channel. If we haven't met, my name's Trina. I'm an INFJ and I'm also autistic. I love helping people like myself understand who they are so they can gain a level of self-love and acceptance for who they are, because I spent many years absolutely despising who I was to the point where I couldn't even look in the mirror. And I don't want that for other people, so I like to share what I've discovered about myself with hopes of helping other people like me. And I do that through coaching, classes, and community, and through my videos. So thanks for joining. I really appreciate it. If you're returning, thank you for coming back. I hope you guys find my channel very helpful. I invite you, if you haven't yet, to like this video and subscribe to my channel. I would really appreciate the support. Your support helps me come back and do these videos for you. And I love doing them. All right, let's get into this. For most of my adult life, I'm going to say my adult life because I'm not sure about when I was a kid. That's kind of a different story. But I'm going to say for most of my adult life, I struggled with asking for help. And in fact, I'm going to be completely transparent. I still struggle with it to this day. It has gotten a little bit easier, but I still struggle with asking for help to this day. So I would push myself to the edge, completely overthink everything, bending over backwards, trying to do everything alone. I would struggle. There's a meme that pops into my head when, and it's about knowing that you're an INFJ, and it's this person who's like moving their stuff, all their belongings, and they've got it all loaded up, and they're like in these weird positions trying to move their belongings down the street all by themselves. And it made me laugh because that's kind of like what we are. We'll just bend over backwards. We'll be like the human pretzel just so we don't have to ask for help. We'll struggle. But for me, I needed help and I wouldn't ask, like so many of us, right? What made it worse was eventually I had a thought that why can't others see I'm struggling? I can sense it. When others are struggling, I know when they need help. And I just go offer it. Why can't other people do that for me? That was a question that kept coming over and over in my head, and it would frustrate me. It took me a long time to realize that most people aren't wired like us. That's just something that comes natural to us. It's in our wiring. That doesn't mean that people don't care. It just means that unless I say something, they're not going to know. So I struggled. And eventually it took a toll on me. I developed an intense stomach issue, had to go on some really strong medication. And for years, I lived a very restricted diet. Plus, I'd lie awake at night with panic attacks when I could sleep. But would I ask for help? No, I would not. But there was a deeper reason I didn't ask for help. When I would look into it and I would read things on like, well, INFJs don't like being a burden. Yes, that's true. We don't like being a burden, but I felt that there was a much deeper reason why I wouldn't ask for help. The real reason I wouldn't ask for help, I didn't learn until actually really not that long ago. I would say it's quite recent, within a year or two. I was afraid that needing help would prove that I really was worthless. It would give me the evidence to that self-belief that I was pathetic, worthless, any of those bad names I used to call myself, and how I felt about myself. And I didn't need more evidence to support that. And that was what I believed. Asking for help would confirm that. And it terrified me. So what did I do? I wore a mask. I looked like I had it all together from the outside, but on the inside, I was completely unraveling all the time. It took me a long time to understand really what was going on beneath all that struggling. I wasn't just avoiding asking for help. I was clinging to a role I didn't even know I was playing. The helper, the capable one, the one who never needed anything, the strong one. I didn't realize that role was actually a mask. INFJs, here's what's interesting. INFJs, we will tie our self-worth to so many things. There are so many things out there that we'll tie our self-worth to, and very few of them are helpful at all. One being our helpfulness. A lot of us will tie our worth to being helpful for other people. If we are helping, we are good. We are justifying our spot in this world. If I'm not helping, then I'm going to be a burden. I don't have a spot in this world. I'm not worthy of being here. Helping is safe for us. That's why we do it. Needing is vulnerable. That scares us. Helping gives us control and purpose. Needing, that's uncertain, risky. You might get judged, dismissed, or even rejected. We learned early, a lot of us, that if we're useful, we're accepted. And for a lot of us, myself included, I can't say every INFJ or neurodivergent INFJ, but a lot of us struggled with being accepted. We seldom ever felt accepted. We were pushed away, we were rejected, we were humiliated just for who we were. So when we discovered that if we were useful and we were helping, we were good and we were accepted, that's what we would do. This is the original story, the childhood pattern that we developed. It really does make sense when you think about it. We survived by anticipating other people's needs, but it created a conditioned self-worth system, which didn't help us at all. So this all creates a role that we wear so tightly that we can't breathe beneath it. This is what I discovered. And that role is a mask. That's what it is. INFJs are so great at masking. And what's funny, a little side note here, for a number of years, I would just sort of push masking topics aside. I didn't think it applied to me, other people, because I didn't fully understand what it was. And if there's one thing that I'm a queen at doing, it's masking. And so many INFJs are. I'm not going to say all INFJs because that's not fair to say, but many of us are really good at masking. It's not just a behavior, it's a persona that we perform over and over. And over time, we mistake that role for our identity. It's crazy, isn't it? Even when we know logically it's okay to ask for help, I knew it. Way back when I was really struggling with this, I knew I could ask for help. Logically, I knew that logical side of my brain. But the other part of my brain was like, no. And our nervous system, it still flinches. Helping brings the body peace, which is gold for an INFJ. We've done the work. We know we're allowed to ask for help, but our nervous system is still wired for rejection. So the body says, nope, we're not asking for help. It's not going to happen. It's not safe. So we're not doing it. And we don't do it. We struggle. We become that character in that meme where we're holding all of our stuff, even with our feet, and pulling this big wagon with our belongings down the road because we just wouldn't ask for help. And if it was me, I would be thinking, can't people see that I'm struggling here? Can't anybody offer their help? They probably didn't notice. I would have noticed, but that doesn't mean everyone else is going to notice, right? This is masking because it's sneaky, because it looks like compassion, responsibility, and strength. Isn't it crazy? It's so sneaky. Masking can be so sneaky. Masking isn't always obvious. It can look like being capable or too strong or too dependable. But underneath, it's a fear of not being enough without the mask. So what do we do about this? What did I do about this when I discovered? The first thing that I found really helpful was identifying what's going on, knowing, okay, this is what's going on. That was huge. The next thing I needed to do was knowing that asking for help is normal, and that all the things that I thought would come true, or all the things that I thought it would give evidence to, was not right. So remember I said earlier, I thought that it would give evidence of my worth, that I am completely worthless, because that's how I felt. And that scared me. I needed to believe that that was not true. That is not giving myself evidence. This took a little while because I believed this for so many years. It's not something that changed overnight. So I had to work on it in baby steps, getting myself to really believe that asking for help is not giving evidence to any of what I thought it was giving. Next, what I did was I practiced being seen and responded to without full emotional exposure, because that was scary. So I couldn't do that, not right off the start. It felt huge, deep, and very scary. So what I did was I asked for connection, not help. Connection's really powerful. So start simple. Something like, hey, do you want to go for a walk with me later? I'd really like the company. Easy enough, right? Or another easy one is, can I send you something that made me think of you? Easy one too, simple. These aren't dramatic asks. They're pretty neutral is what I call them, but they're powerful. Because every time you let someone in, even just a little, you're starting to unmask. Did you know that? Not with big reveals, but with gentle openings, and that's where trust starts to build. And that's what we want to do. So if you've built your life around being the helper, and now you're wondering who you are underneath all that, you're definitely not alone. I've been there, and some days, I'm not going to deny, it kind of feels like that every once in a while still. Not very often anymore. You're not broken, you're not weird, you're not weak, just overloaded and probably exhausted from performing a role that you never asked for. That's exactly what we're diving into in my new workshop, Unmasking the INFJ, Why You're Not Broken, Just Overloaded. We're going way under the mask, past the people pleasing, into the truth of who we actually are, without roles, without pressure to perform. Because our worth was never how much we give. It was never about that. It's who we are when we finally let ourselves be seen. So if you're interested in my new workshop, the link is in the description of this video. You can watch it live or catch the replay. Every time you let yourself receive, even just a little, you're rewriting that story. Even if it's just a tiny, tiny bit, you're rewriting that story. You're not weak for needing help. None of us are. We're very strong. You're just human. Humans need help. I really, truly believe that that's part of humans' purpose, is helping each other. We help each other grow. We help each other through life. I truly believe that that is part of our purpose. And you're worthy of support, even though some days it doesn't feel like it. I hope this was helpful. Thank you for joining me. I really appreciate it. My next video, I'm talking about 5 INFJ struggles you didn't know were caused by masking. It'll be quite interesting because, like I said earlier, I didn't think that masking pertained to me. And when I dove into this, masking, INFJs are really good at masking. We're awesome at it. And it causes so many issues in our life that, for me, I didn't relate them to masking. So I'm excited about that video. It's going to be a great one. Thanks for joining me. I appreciate it. Again, if you haven't, I invite you to like this video. Feel free to share it. And I also invite you to subscribe to my channel. I'd appreciate your support. Thanks again for joining me, and I'll see you soon. Bye for now.